Tony is the founder of Danger Room Athletics, which is a gym. He does classes of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, personal training, group fitness classes. So I want to just start by giving you the floor and can you tell me a little bit about what is Danger Room Athletics and what do you do?
So, Danger Room Athletics is a boutique style gym where we do fitness training, unconventional fitness training, and we lean over also to the jiu-jitsu aspect of things. I'm a brown belt. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about 8 years, and I got a pretty cool setup. Not only that, but I also got a pretty cool group of people that come in and train in the gym. So I'm blessed on multiple angles. But yeah, me and Jesse, we started this idea straight out of the backyard. We were like training in the backyard during COVID,
It
and
was it was Jesse's backyard, right?
yeah, and it just snowballed
Uh,
into literally snowballed into this.
cool, dude. Cool. So yeah, I want to take it back maybe a little bit further. Because I know that you've always been passionate about fitness and at a certain point martial arts. So maybe we could talk about the two separately, but how and when did you first get inspired that that kind of became your thing?
For fitness, um, crazy story. My dad got me a gym membership. I think I was probably a junior in high school, and he's like, "Go work out." So I'll ride my bike to the gym right after school, work out or work out throughout the weekend. And he pretty much saw me hitting every weight in the gym. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you hitting every weight in the gym? Let's do a lift where we're working muscle groups." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely that's where it all started. I don't know if you're familiar with Amityville Harbor, but Amityville Harbor had this gym called Dolphins. Crazy story behind how it all changed. Now it's Crunch. But yeah, the Dolphins was the spot back in the day.
Gotcha.
You
So,
know.
so so that was the first gym you were going to, and was your dad, was he into fitness?
Yeah. So my dad, he was always in shape. When we moved to Long Island, we decided to join the gym and start working out. And then little by little, I guess he said I should be in the gym because I play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always outside. I'm always active and physical. So figured, hey, why not his son be in the gym?
Sure. Was that a I could see that being a good bonding experience between you and your dad. Probably made you guys get a lot closer.
Honestly, it was definitely was a great bonding experience. Yeah, because it still carries over into my current life. You
Gotcha.
know,
Yeah, dude, it's got to be tough for people who want to get into fitness, but it's a lot easier to get into fitness when you have that community, whether it's your family or your friends that get you into it or sports that you're into. Um, which actually makes me think. Full disclosure, I am a client of Tony's and I train with him, and I feel like the community, because it is a small tight knit community in your gym. Um, I could see that being for a lot of people who maybe want to get into fitness but don't really have the exposure to that. That not only the guidance that you and the other more experienced people at the gym bring, whether it's jujitsu or fitness classes or whatever, but having that camaraderie and community that comes with this gym. That I mean, I've been involved in multiple gyms in my day, and I've never seen that anywhere else. So I could see that being kind of a pull for people who want to get into fitness, and why they might want to come to your gym.
yeah. So what I experience in my gym is a camaraderie. It's not like just a gym where people come and just work out and just leave. It's more of a bonding moment,
It's a team.
opportunity to get away. Exactly, opportunity to get away from the things that are kind of pressuring you or bothering you. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get into the gym, every nothing really matters
Yeah, dude.
because yesterday it was 100 degrees. It's probably 106 or 7 degrees in there. And yo,
Jeez.
yeah, we did a half
Can't wait to get
hour.
in there after this.
Yo, we did a half-hour workout, and when I say these girls pushed through, I was dying.
Holy fuck.
I was dying.
Oh my
But
god.
I haven't worked out in like weeks. But yo, it was a vibe. But it was hot. It
Yeah.
was really hot. And then right after that, I hopped into jujitsu, whatever. So, but yeah, yo, the heat makes it makes it a lot more deserving.
Yeah,
You know,
totally. You got to work through that.
exactly.
So all right, let's talk about jujitsu because I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know fitness is definitely a passion of yours, but like jujitsu is kind of the first love, as far as like that's what you're the most focused on for yourself. Is that correct?
I would
Or
say there's a balance of both. I believe in balance. You
mhm.
know, but
You
jiu-jitsu's
can have
taken over.
success in jujitsu without a certain degree of fitness as well.
Yeah, I would say that, but I think jiu-jitsu for anybody to start. Anybody could do jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
Like some of the best guys, they're small.
Hmm.
You know, they look less stronger than some of the guys they go against. You know, you look at guys like Brian Glick, lightweight,
Hmm.
skinny, but he'll put work on you. And then there's other guys, for example, like Gay, that'll just smash through you. It doesn't matter, just can't get under him. But there's different types of games, different types of sizes where you could apply. Yes, strength helps, and being fit kind of helps, but understanding the technique is where everything gels together.
Right, right. So yeah, so how did you first get exposed to jujitsu, and like when did you fall in love with it?
So, first time being exposed to jiu-jitsu, I was like a kid, but it was like traditional jiu-jitsu. My dad had opened an academy, and he had like a few coaches, um, kung fu coach, and uh, traditional jiu-jitsu coach, and yeah, I think he had another. I think he had another coach. I can't remember, but he had this academy, and fortunately they ended up closing it or whatever for several reasons. But I did jujitsu for a little bit, but it was like striking and a little bit of chokes, but it was not that as much chokes as Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Gotcha.
or submissions and stuff. But I'm pretty sure there was, but I don't think we started exploring that yet. I just don't know. It was like probably like a year, 2 years. It was open.
Gotcha. So even jujitsu goes back to your dad as well.
Yes, definitely. It's kind of funny.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny.
So
Full
this
circle.
was you were how old at this time?
I want to say I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that happened. Yeah, basketball is your thing in high school,
Hmm.
and then when did you start getting into Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Well, it wasn't until I ran track in high school too,
Okay.
but basketball wasn't my thing. I wanted to be a good basketball player, but I practiced with the basketball team, and I trained. Yeah, I did play basketball at UNAO for a bit, which is like a club, but I didn't play ball for too long.
Okay.
I was playing street ball.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was playing street ball,
Hmm.
but yeah, basically, I ran track. I ran track my senior year, and then jiu-jitsu came along. I was 27. I took my first jiu-jitsu class, and I got beat up. I got my ass kicked multiple times. It was a good time. It was a good learning experience because I went back home and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna learn some of this. I started watching videos from MMA, like started watching Marcelo, started watching all these different grapplers, wrestlers, and stuff like that. Try to figure out like, yo, what am I doing wrong? What can I do? And
Hmm.
I try to teach myself an armbar, but none of that helped. None of it helped at all. Like it didn't do anything for me.
Hmm.
It just kind of like, I mean, maybe it did something for me, but there was no immediate effects. I went back to class and got my ass kicked again. You know,
Sure.
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
You didn't have any grappling background, right?
No
Yeah.
grappling background at all.
So something I want to know here, going back to this, where you first got started, because I could see for a lot of people, they might be interested in martial arts. Maybe they like to watch UFC or something like that.
Hmm.
But it's kind of intimidating to make that step and say like, I'm going to go and do this and go get into this class. What was going on in your head? And at least for you, maybe you had the background from your dad. At least maybe
Hmm.
that was something. But what was going on in your head that led you to give that a try?
Trying to understand class because at the time I was working at UFC gym.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
so like I wanted to know more about the classes so I could just describe them and sell them.
Mm.
That's the only
Hmm.
way to sell. You just be able you're capable. You have to be capable of describing the classes.
Right.
You know, it was uh it was that moment I got choked out that I had to get back
You
into
got a
jiu-jitsu
little
again. I
chip on
gotta
your
test my
shoulder.
I gotta test myself,
Right, right.
and it became like a everyday thing. Like, all right, I gotta train, not really train, but I gotta see if I could do something
Hmm.
and survive or do better. Because I
I
was,
hear you there.
like I said, I just was getting beat, I was getting smashed, I was getting choked out,
Hmm.
daily. But it was fun.
So for somebody else who is out there, that because this was probably like I was in a unique position where, and I guess kind of like you, where I started working around Danger Room, and so I'm exposed to it now.
Hmm.
And whereas like I might have not sought it out myself because it was right there, I was like, yeah, I'll give this a shot. For somebody who is, but in the past, before that, I had considered, like I would like to get into some sort of martial art, um, but I just never made that step. So, like, I guess for somebody that was maybe in my shoes before I started, coming when I was here and I was around it before that, like, who do you think would benefit from it, and like, why do you think that somebody who has no exposure to it should take that step and get started?
All right, so honestly, there was a period of time where I had trouble speaking to people, like having conversations. I was always nervous being in front of crowds, speaking in
So
front of
like
people.
social anxiety,
A
basically.
lot of
Yeah,
social
yeah.
anxiety. Being capable of coaching and working with a team, guiding them, being their leader, being a teacher, it opened up a lot of my social awkwardness, and like I guess it was like kind of a stress reliever because I was doing something that I enjoyed doing. I was also helping people, and I think being in those situations where environment is, you could build off of it. Like I've had other jobs that I've done in my life where being around specific people, it brought me joy and it helped me learn things. I think those type of environments you could always learn, where they're welcoming and you got a team. It's a team effort. Because the team is always going to teach you something, whether you're teaching them or not.
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel that once I started teaching, it changed my perspective on things. And I guess I do it well because I see a lot of my students do well, and that's really how I gauge it, like how well my students do, how well they retain the information, if they're using it, during the class or during a session. That's how I know I'm doing. I'm in a good space.
Sure.
It's not about how much money I'm getting. It's not about how many people like, you know, ask me for privates. It's literally all about like how well my students do.
And
And
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think typically like it's not just me that's helping them. We have Professor Gay, we have Brandon, we have Valdo when he's around. We have like a group of people to really like pour back into the danger room. Oh, we also have Kevin. We have a lot of guys that pour back into the danger room. So it's not just me. I have a group of guys. Jesse pours into it when he's around. Like everybody's helping. The newer people or the white belts or I feel like white belt is such a term, but I feel like it's offensive in a way because I feel like everybody's a white belt. Like
Mm.
even although I have a brown belt, like I feel like I'm a white belt because there's so much to learn. It's like a vast network, but I believe that it makes people better. Doing jujitsu makes people better mentally. It gets rid of anxiety. It kind of like helps you figure more things out and how to manage stress. you know I think that's where it's at. You could manage stress a little bit better because like somebody has 250 pounds coming at you, you're 150 pounds, right? And you can manage that and you can get them off of you. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot alone by itself. you know the weight difference is tremendous. And honestly, the average person won't be able to do that, because they're gonna panic like, oh, this guy's on top of me, oh, this guy's on top of me. They don't know how to get them off.
Hmm.
And when you know how to get somebody off of you, you could do a lot. You could do a lot of things. You could kick them in the face. You could now you're on a whole self defense thing. Of course, you want to do jujitsu against a group of people, but with one on one, just jujitsu works. And if you look back at the Gracie jujitsu, like that's like the bread and butter right there. It teaches you how to stop strikes and go straight to jujitsu. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So there's so much. There's so much that's wrapped around this one thing. like for example, Gracie combatives, and now you have the newer age. Well, now it's King's Jiu-Jitsu, used to be New Wave. The newer age of Jiu-Jitsu, where they they're pretty much the front runners. They're leading the way. Going around is about to open the biggest facility
Hmm.
in Texas. Like he's doing a lot of dope stuff. But there's a lot of other ones too. So
So that actually you kind of answered. I wanted to ask you like how has jujitsu impacted your life off of the mats,
yeah.
which you kind of just answered that.
Mhm.
But you bring up a good point talking about some other gyms. What would you say? Like, why would somebody want to come to Danger Room over maybe like a Gracie Gym or some of these other like bigger names?
Okay, so when you come to the gym, right, you see that everybody contributes to your growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's one reason, right off the rip. You go to a bigger gym where there's 30 people class, 40 people class, sometimes even 25, 28. You're not going to get that attention. And plus, we all give you attention. So it's like me, Tasso, and whoever's experienced this on the mats, okay, they all give you that attention. You know what I'm saying? So being in an environment like that, you'll see the learning curve in comparison to most other places. Um, on another on another script, you look at just the camaraderie. Like we respect our training partners. Like nobody's jumping for submissions. Nobody's trying to kill each other. We get really good rolls, high level rolls, tough rounds with the respect. Like a new guy is not gonna come in and you know I've been to several gyms where let's go kill a new guy who never did jujitsu. You know, and I seen it. Like nobody really did that shit to me, but I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it. I'm like, that's why. Have fun with him. Guide him through it. Make him feel comfortable. Because it's a foreign place to be in on the ground. Like nobody's used to going to the ground.
Sure.
Um, but I seen it. I seen that. But nobody did that to me. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did that to me. Because that sucks. But well, I think it sucks. Maybe the person.
I mean, it's also for whoever's trying to run a business. That's probably not the best way to retain somebody that's coming in for the first time is to just
Exactly.
you know pummel them into the ground, like not let them. Like I really appreciate the fact that like and to kind of attest to what you were saying about how you get a lot of exposure with high level guys at this gym. Like I might be in a class where, and this is pretty typical, where it's me, two brown belts, and a black belt,
Hmm.
and like that's who I'm working with and rolling with all day.
That's sick.
And but like with that also comes like I get a good balance of you know I guess to put it very nicely, like being exposed to what I don't know, which
Mhm.
means like getting my ass kicked, but also people giving me a chance to, like not people aren't always going up full tilt 100% on me. A lot of times people are kind of like giving me a chance to get my, to get my own work in and try out moves for myself
Mhm.
rather than completely dominating like you would be able to if you were to go all out. Um, so I have definitely noticed that about this gym that, you know, I go up against people that are so much better than me, but I profit from that as opposed to just getting my ass beat every day.
Mhm. And that's why I feel that going to like any other gym, it's kind of like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it because I think everybody should cross train. Everybody should train everywhere. Go train in Africa if you want to. Go to South Africa. Go
Hell
train
yeah.
with those guys. Go to Italy. Go train. Just go train.
Absolutely.
It makes it so much easier to get different knowledge and see what other get other roles with people. You know.
Totally.
But yeah, come to the danger room.
Um, so, okay. So I want to ask you about the fact that, I can say for myself that something, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel this way because you see it online. Like you see all these people who have like either built a business that lets them live their dream life, or at least it appears to the way people present it online. And you also see people, whether it be music or sports or art or I mean anything, like anything that people have a passion for, there's someone out there who is able to make a living off of it. Some people
Hmm.
make a lot of money, some people make a little bit, but if you can wake up every day and do something that you enjoy for work, that's really special. And very, very few people get that. And I think a lot of people want that. And there's a lot of people that are trying to make it a reality, but have been unsuccessful. You, on the other hand, I know you have a lot of different passions and interests, but as we just talked about, going back for a very long time, you've had a passion for fitness and you've been, super interested in jiu-jitsu. And now you've been able to build a life for yourself where you can come here every day and train people and work out yourself, practice jiu-jitsu, get better and better, and you're able to get paid for it. How, like, why do you think that you were able to be successful there while there's so many people who are stuck, working some 9 to 5 desk job that they hate, dreaming about doing something better?
Um, tell you the truth, like I'm blessed. Like I have a good team. I have a good group of people. We all take care of each other. We pour into each other's cups to build something great.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be, you know, Danger Room, whether it be Viola Media, we all work together to build something, you know, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed to have Jesse. Jesse had looked out for me, and we built something that could definitely grow. Like it's growing. It's pretty big. The next thing is expanding it, making this space, finding a bigger space, or you know, um. But yeah, I'm lucky to have good friends. I'm lucky to have a good team. I'm lucky to have it all, and not just my jujitsu team, but the other guys behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. So,
You
like,
know,
what I'm taking away from that as a lesson here is focus on surrounding yourself and getting to know more people, and surrounding yourself with good people who may or may not be actually doing for a living what you want to do, but are in that community.
yes,
And the more
absolutely,
relationships you can build within that community and keep working on your own craft, the more opportunities that are going to open up for you.
exactly.
Because I mean, which
Agree.
and that is ultimately what happened, right? Is like you got into this jujitsu community, you started
Hmm.
training, you started building
Yeah,
relationships with the right people,
yeah,
and when the opportunity arose, one of those people, Jesse, had an opportunity to help you get set up with your own place.
exactly.
So yeah, that's I like that a lot. I mean, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to do with this podcast. Really,
Word.
is build relationships with people like you and other people that are doing things that they love, and
Just keep doing it.
yeah, and
Don't
and see
stop.
what kind of opportunities come from it. Um, so okay, getting towards the end here, but I want to kind of ask from you like what is it that you want to do or achieve or become, like what is it that you wake up every day and you're like excited to work towards this goal? Is there one thing in particular? Is there a few things?
I think just being 1% better at everything, anything that I have to tackle, like any challenge. Um, Maybe it would be understanding a move, a particular move. It could even be like some design stuff that I do, like artistic stuff. But let's say it's a move, for
Mm-hmm.
example, that I'm trying to understand. I spend a lot of time on that. I'll spend like close to like 30 minutes on it to understand it. And there's other times where I'll go deeper into it where it's multiple reps, maybe like 5 reps, 5 rounds a day or 10 rounds a day, you know, just to understand that one thing. And like there's a lot of nuance in jujitsu,
Mm-hmm.
which you'll come to understand. There's a lot of nuance in jujitsu, which means there's a lot of little details that have to be demonstrated to get to your goal that make your goal a little bit easier. Like you can make a grip and it could be good, but you could do a grip that involves a little bit of nuance and it could be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that.
Yeah, I've definitely, just to touch on that point, like it's been so cool for me to see how similar, like how much crossover there is between jujitsu and improving at jujitsu and life.
Mhm.
Like you could apply that to anything. And I'm very interested in chess, and it's like the
Yeah.
same thing. And it's funny too because I'll play chess. Like I play on chess.com online, and I'll see when there are times that I feel myself rapidly improving in jujitsu, I play better in chess. It's funny. But yeah, like you're talking about the nuance to everything. Like, say you want to get better at, and you honestly, I mean, you said that this is what happened for you. Say you want to get better at like speaking with people and having conversations and being able to connect with people and build relationships, whether that be for like dating or sales or just making friends or
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's very much the same thing. Like there's no rules or like I can't tell you this is how step by step what you're supposed to do. I
Mhm.
can give you guidelines and I can give you like kind of an idea of a step by step, but there's always going to be nuances to every situation where where it works in this case, but if this happens then it's going to be different. And I feel like jujitsu is very much the same.
Mhm.
And I think that for a lot of people, aside from the like if you're just looking to get into some sort of like physical workout and get in shape, jiu-jitsu is great for that. If you're someone that hates running or just like working out for the sake of working out,
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu is a great way to get in shape while also doing something that's maybe fun and like you're learning a skill. But it also, I think, really translates mentally to help you just go about your life better and like as your brain develops to address situations in jujitsu, that carries over to addressing a lot of situations in life.
Agreed. I agree. I always say that. I feel that.
Um, so okay, I think like that's just about all we got. Something I want to do on all of these podcasts, being that this is like a Long Island local business focused thing.
Mhm.
Um, I want to like ask you to shout out some sort of like local business, whether it be like a restaurant that you've been liking lately or just any other business that you want to like tell people to go check out.
Gotta think about that one. Yeah, give me a minute.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. If you have more than one, then go for it.
I don't know. I've been on my hair product wave, so popcorn beauty supply. So yeah, I'm trying to just take care of my hair. That's the store I've been in most lately. Popcorn beauty supply.
Cool. It's like products and stuff
Yeah,
like
like
that.
hair products. Also trying to take care of my son's hair because his hair is long too.
Yeah,
So yeah, just hair products, skin products. They have everything, but you know, I've been spending a lot of time in there because I really want to make sure both of our hair, our crowns are healthy.
absolutely. Cool, cool.
So yeah,
All right, well, Tony, appreciate you doing this with me. If you're
appreciate you,
interested
brother.
in checking out some fitness classes or getting into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, check out Danger Room Athletics. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
If you want to hit me up on Instagram, Danger Room Tony. Yeah,
There you
Danger
go.
Room Tony. That's it.
All right, cool. That's a wrap. Thanks, Tony.
Good looks, bro. Thank you for having me.